Yo, what up, my dudes? We're talking about an advanced level concept today, known as opponent's addiction. So, let's get right into this video today. First thing I'm going to do for you guys is define what the concept actually is. I'm going to give you ideas of how to take advantage of the concept, and I'm going to show you gameplay examples at the end of the video of me taking advantage of kids that are obviously addicted to a certain style of gameplay. So, dopamine, what does that do in the brain? Basically, it's the pleasure and the reward center. So, when you do a thing, your brain rewards you with this dopamine response, giving you that happy-dappy feeling that you get for doing the thing. That's something that has actually been termed, by the way, that's dope. You guys have heard that before. That is an actual reference to the dopamine response. Now, in the exercise and physiology field, I see a lot of these responses based upon sugar, based upon one rep maxes. I know you guys are all addicted to sugar because you can't be if you live in the States. Anyway, the caffeine addiction is another one. I just wanted to give you guys a couple of examples of stuff that I work within. And these things, you know you're addicted to them because the thought of not having them or going without them for a week tends to cause a withdrawal. And that's where gaming comes in. So we're going to operate within the parameters of causing something of a withdrawal, because what that does for a gamer is cause a survival instinct. Now, gaming is closely related to behavioral addiction, and because we now know that those two have similarities based upon research from the Journal of American Psychology, we know that we could take advantage of the concept. What I want you guys to learn today is that there are two main characteristics we're going to take advantage of today. One is the dopamine response. What we're going to learn to do with this response is we're going to basically learn how to cause a disruption to it. And the best way you can do anything is identify what it is, but we'll get into that in a minute. Dopamine disruption. The concept of dopamine disruption basically is identification. You're now identifying somebody's gameplay patterns, and what you're doing really within the brain is identifying what they're craving. So if you see somebody do something a couple of times in a row, you know that this is how they crave their gameplay. That leaves them open to being exploited or manipulated. We're going to force them into this concept right here, survival, and then we're going to see how well they do. Typically speaking, most people don't do well when they get pushed into that survival response, and they end up having a problem. In FPS games, the first thing we do is we identify the meta. Doing this right away is one of those things that can help you take advantage of your opponent's cravings, because you know what he's after. He's after that awesome kill-death ratio. Here are some of the patterns that I've noticed going on right now in the Crucible. Shotgun rushers, you're going to see gameplay of all of this, by the way. Overly cautious people, ability spammers, things like that really do add up. So what I need you guys to work on doing is becoming the anti-meta to that specific player. And we're going to call them out, we're going to look at them, we're going to see what they are. Let's do a quick discussion on what it is to cause a pattern disruption. Really simply put, if your opponent does something 2 to 3 times, it's a pattern. That means they do it often enough that it's basically a habit. The faster you realize what their habits are, the better you're going to become at taking advantage of it. And there are identifiable things you can look for in that player's character model to know that you've had an effect. You're basically putting them on tilt when they do things like blindly rush you. You know, especially when there's no chance of them winning. When they do things like the bagging, for example. When you become, that is, their only target in the game, meaning they are specifically out to get you, you know that you're having the impact that you want in a comp game because now you're causing them to play recklessly, and that will be the goal of causing this disruption to their dopamine. Now, I'm going to show you guys some gameplay in a little bit. I want to show you examples of what I've done and basically how I've gone about doing it in a few pub games, and then how I went about causing a pattern disruption within a comp game at the end. And here's some of the things that I've done. You don't need to be an expert with these things, but you should have an understanding of how they work to counter what your opponent is doing. And I want to show you what that looks like. So, in this particular Iron Banner game, these guys were all about their hand cannons and all about their shotguns. I switched to a fusion rifle. I'm keeping my distance. Shotties are around that 10-meter mark, right? Hand cannons are around that 30-meter mark. I stay in the middle of that. So I force them to use either that hand cannon, or I make them have a mistake by trying to charge me with their shotgun, like this guy just did right there. That is the goal of this particular loadout. Look, that's about 10 to 12 meters right there, causing them to slow down so they can't rush forward. The Hunter is amazing at doing these particular styles of gameplay. This poor dude. What are you doing, man? Come on, wake up. Wake up, dude. Get some coffee. That way I can teach you about withdrawal. All right, so in this gameplay footage you're going to look at right here, these are ability spammers. If you guys don't know how to be the anti-meta for these, you need to stand back and let them waste their abilities. Now, they could probably do a bit of manipulation of their characters so they gain their abilities back really quick. Your job is to keep your distance and let them spam their abilities, get those out of the way so that you could then force them to play with their guns. What you're going to see right here, check it out. Me just keeping my distance and watch these guys use their abilities. First thing they do. Oh, look at that, ability. Okay, I mean, he was within range to get me with that Fellwinters, but Homeboy wanted to do his little thing. Look at this guy. He's within range of the other guy, and instead he does a charge forward and ability spam again. The whole match was done like this. Being able to get on these guys' bad side, so to speak, is only going to be advantageous to you because now they have to force themselves to play differently based on your style, and then you could just adapt again. With shotgunners, never take a direct approach, as you saw right there. I baited him around the corner, little slam attack. The idea behind having me do those things to people when they're rushing is to slow them the heck down. That way they understand, oh, I can't just charge this guy. I have to change my gameplay. And guess what? If you don't cause them to go into survival and adapt, they won't change their pattern. Live and learn, right? So, I thought this would be a really cool one to see so you guys can see you can shut down supers with your grenade. There's a couple of different ways to do it. It's kind of tricky. You have to practice this one. But it really gets into somebody's head if you can pull this off. Because now you stop them in the middle of their dopamine. You know, that super, that whole, oh, I'm going to go get this guy. It can really mess with you when you take that out of the equation. So, we were winning this match, but these guys adapted to how we were playing. We were all close quarter combat. I made the change to a snipe because I thought it would cause something of a disruption since they did just win a round. What we don't want to happen in a comp game is for them to get any momentum. So this is what I changed, and it caused us to have a 4-1 win in a comp game. I thought that was worth looking at, so you guys have an understanding of what I was going after with this one. I'm not a good sniper, by the way, but, you know, live and learn, right? All right, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully you got something out of it. If you do, like and subscribe. Let me know what else you want to see. I have more beginner's guides coming out so you can understand how to train for these things, but I have more things as well that I think will be beneficial to you that are just advanced level concepts. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, hit the bell, do the thing, and have a good one.